Everybody, it's your boy Chaz Pearson, and this is the Outlet Forum with my esteemed co-host Chris Camello. What up, Chris?
We are in the heart of summer now, my friend.
It is the best time of year. Not really, but it is still interesting because there's a whole lot still going on in the NBA and the sports world. We got Dame Lillard returning to Portland. CP3 wanted to follow suit and return to the LA Clippers. We'll get into the Marcus Smart signing over this past weekend and how that affects the Lakers moving forward. And a friend of the show, reporter for the Los Angeles Lakers and Lakers Nation, Ryan Ward, will join the show very shortly. So we'll get into a whole lot of Lakers info. Obviously, we even got a little bit of baseball at the end, per Chris talking about the Dodgers. And luckily, we're not going to absolutely kill them on this episode because they got a walk-off win today, just in time for
But
us
I
to talk
wanted to
about
kill him.
it.
I
I
wanted
know
to
you
kill
did.
him.
I know you did. I know you did. But we'll save it because Otani is hitting jack after jack after jack after jack after jack because that's five in a row, a Dodgers record for Shohei Otani. But Chris, we got to start off first with the huge news
Mm.
of Marcus Smart joining the Los Angeles Lakers. He's officially signed per the press release from the Los Angeles Lakers. Rob Pelinka had some really glowing things to say about Marcus Smart going into the press release and everything like that, talking about how he's going to be a point of attack defender, somebody that Doncic is going to be able to rely on, the type of player with the tenacity that the Lakers need. And I love it, Chris, really, because the Lakers got their Draymond now. Like when they go up against the Golden State Warriors or any of those other tougher teams that have those tougher players, they have a player now that can go that's just as good talent wise as some other guys that are on the team. That guy for the Lakers previously was a guy like, Jared Vanderbilt, and he just wasn't as good. Now he's going to have a good backup in Marcus Smart, but Chris, what do you make of the signing? And what do you make of the fact that Marcus Smart came on a buyout where the Lakers didn't have to give up any assets for him either?
Well, I had been pushing for this guy the last few weeks. I said it on the outlet forum. I said it here. I said, what is the one thing that I am looking at the Lakers? What don't they have? Perimeter freaking defense. They don't have anyone who could defend on the perimeter, certainly not in that starting lineup. So what better guy to get than a former Defensive Player of the Year award winner and a three-time all-defensive first team member in Marcus Smart? Grit, toughness, leadership, experience, can knock down the occasional three, can play the combo guard. He could bring the ball up. He could, he could play off the ball. It is a good fit. And the unique thing about this, Chaz, and you pointed this out because you said this, I'm not against Marcus Smart. I'm against trading for Marcus Smart. Well, the Lakers ended up listening to you. I thought maybe, Washington did not want to have more dead money on the books after, taking on all these contracts. So what did they do? They decided, you know what? If Marcus is willing to eat some of the contract, clearly he wants to play for a contender. We don't want you here in DC. Go out and go find that right fit. But the key to this, Chaz, Luka Doncic personally recruited Marcus Smart. Luka knows what Smart is able to do. Granted, Smart was not on the Celtics team that Luka faced last summer, but he knows enough to know this skill set is a good complement to me. That's what the Lakers needed. A good complementary defensive-minded guard. I understand people are like, well, the injuries, and he's a little bit older, and only a 32% three-point shooter. Fine. But what are you bringing him here to do? Defend on the perimeter, and Smart is going to be able to do just that. So, not to mention, Chaz, he's got 2 years where it's been a complete disaster physically for him. He has not been able to stay healthy. We thought he was going to be a difference maker in Memphis. That never really happened because of all the injuries, not just to him, but that the other, guys like Morant
No
and
doubt.
Desmond Bain had, and Jaren Jackson Jr. So there's been a lot that has gone on in Memphis, but now he's got an opportunity. We saw glimpses of it in Washington, but now he's got a full offseason for this guy to reestablish where he's to get back to where he was once at with the Boston Celtics. This is a prove it year, similar to Bradley Beal with the Clippers. Prove that you can still be what you once were not that long ago. And I think if Smart does that, he could opt out of his contract in 2026. Sorry, I got something in my eye. And then hit the free agency market and maybe get more years from either the Lakers or another team. But I really like this signing, and I think it addresses a lot of needs.
Addresses every need that they really have as far as the main point of attack defender. And I like that word point of attack because that's John Morant, that's Steph Curry, that's uh, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, that's Van Vliet, that's a whole lot of guys that's going to come up and be that initiator on offense. So for the Lakers, it really just comes down to the fact that they have a guy that's going to defensively do what they need on that end of the floor. He's going to spot up. He's going to shoot jumpers. He's going to be a tough guy that's on the team. But he's another guy for JJ Redick to play in spot minutes, key minutes, and really that's all you can ask for the guy. You really just want him to be healthy. It was between Phoenix and Milwaukee, reportedly, possibly. But he really wanted to come to the Lakers after Luka Doncic being so instrumental and giving him a call. He didn't just send him a text or anything like that. He called him a couple of times. And listen to Marcus Smart with what he had to say on why he decided to come to the Lakers. Take a listen here.
You'd hear that throughout your career?
To be honest, no, I didn't. I thought about it 12 years ago when it was a possibility. And then, throughout my years, my 9 years in Boston, it was kind of hard to think. And then once I left, at that moment, I was like, you know what, there's a possibility. And then the possibility went to, yeah, let's do this. Yeah. And I'm excited, and this is great. And I'm glad to be here, and I'm ready to go.
I do want to first dive into, obviously, the Lakers weren't the only team to come after you during this time. What were you prioritizing that ultimately allowed you to land with the Lakers?
One main thing for me was, where can I make a big impact on a big stage? My first 9 years in the league, playoffs, and then these last 2 years, no playoffs. So, for me, it was getting back to that big stage, and being able to come back out and relive and show what I still can do and what people are missing out on.
What do you think the last 2 seasons in particular taught you about yourself?
I would have to say the last 2 seasons taught me about myself that patience is a virtue. I'm the type of guy, I want to play through everything. No matter what, no matter the pain, no matter the stress, I want to be on the court. And having to tell myself and have to understand that, hey, sometimes, you got to take it slow. Because rushing it just causes more for me to miss, and I hate to miss being on the court. So being patient enough to understand that my time's going to come, wherever, whenever that may be, but it's going to come.
So the 54.
So I mean, that's the thing that it comes down to, Chris. Like, get ready and stay ready, so like you don't have to get ready. Is what I meant to say.
No, be ready so you don't have to get ready. Yes. I couldn't agree more. Sorry to cut you, but that's one of my favorite quotes is, hey, you stay ready so you don't ever have to get ready. And Marcus Smart's been in this game a long time. I remember the Lakers, go back to the 2014 draft. The Lakers were in on Marcus Smart. The problem was Boston had the 6th pick. Lakers had the 7th pick. Had Boston balked on Smart, he would have been an LA Laker, and they ended up with Julius Randle, which was not bad. Obviously, Randle, only spent 3 years of his career with the Lakers. Well, 3 years that he actually played, 1 year that he was injured. But Smart, I've always been a fan of his game because I always think you need a player like this on your roster. Go back to the Laker three-peat years. The guys like Rick Fox or Derek Fisher, guys like that, Ron Artest, Trevor Ariza, these agitating defenders who could defend multiple positions, who aren't afraid to get into people's grills and whatnot. And I thought that was sort of missing. As much as I love Dorian Finney-Smith, I think getting a guy like Marcus Smart is a pretty adequate replacement for him. Granted, he doesn't have the size or the length or the athleticism of a DFS, but his ability to still, even at 6'3", to defend both guard positions and occasionally wings. Chaz, I've seen this guy guard LeBron. You know, when Cleveland was going to the conference finals and facing off against Boston from 2015 to 2018. I've seen this dude guard Joel Embiid in the first round between Boston and Philly. This guy has no fear. He will defend positions 1 through 5. Hell, we saw that with Caruso, right? You know, with the Lakers, and then most recently with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He was guarding Nikola Jokic in Game 7 of the semis. So you need to have these guys where even if they are limited with what they're able to do on the basketball court athletically or with height, they will still have the X factor, the intangibles to want to get after it. And those are winning ball players. And when you look back at a series, you're going to be like, we may not have won that series or that game without the services of a Caruso, of a Rick Fox, of a Dylan Brooks, and now of a Marcus Smart.
Yeah, he's the exact player that they needed. And just one thing I want to say before we move on to the next thing, like with Rob Pelinka, I know Laker fans don't have patience. I know this offseason has been slower than usual because of different aprons and the CBA and this and that. But patience is a virtue. And the offseason is 3 months long or almost 4 months long for a reason. And let Rob cook. But someone who might come as an advocate to what I just said, a friend of the show, Lakers Nation reporter Ryan Ward is joining the show now. Ryan, it's good to have you on. Thank you for coming on and hanging out with the Outlet Forum tonight. I know you had so much to say and think when it comes to Marcus Smart and the Lakers moves. I got to start off first. How you doing, man?
Fantastic. I just got done with a Lakers Nation stream that we did for like an hour.
How was that?
Oh, good. I mean, yeah, it's just, I think the Smart move was a good move. It was a move it was the first move where I was like, I like this. Okay, cool.
Ryan, would you call it a smart move?
Jesus, Chris.
Thank you. Oh my God!
I had to say it. I had to say it, Ryan. It's good to see you, man. It's we come a long way from the Laker Nation office in downtown LA, man. But you've done some tremendous things. You continue to do tremendous things. So we really appreciate you being on here tonight.
Yeah, no problem, guys. No problem.
Well, I know we were on the subject of Smart, but I mean, what I want to get into is kind of the bigger picture really quick as it comes to the Lakers, because yes, Marcus Smart is going to be an instrumental role player, but behind the scenes being reported that Luka Doncic made, well, not even reported at this point after what Marcus Smart came out to say yesterday about how Luka called him a few times and how that was instrumental in why he signed with Los Angeles.
That's what I loved, man. That's what I loved. I was like,
what do you make of it, and what do you think that means for August 2nd?
I think that means he's all in. I mean, he's convinced. Like, this is where he wants to be. It's there's no doubt in his mind that the LA is the spot, and I think we all kind of knew that, but this was kind of more of a confirmation. Like I said on the Lakers Nation show, like it was 2-1. Right, you got Smart. You got this guy. This guy's going to improve the defense, improves perimeter defense. Solid vet. He's got a motor. He's got stuff that you can't teach. Right, and then you also got Luka, who wanted to bring him in. So Luka is actively trying to build this thing with the rest of the guys. Right, and Smart seemed flattered, like he didn't even believe that first phone call. Right, that his agent got. Like he's like, yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah, right. Luka wants me to go. And then the second one, he's like, oh, okay, I got to take this seriously. And it kind of sold him right away. I know it was only Phoenix and Milwaukee that they were competing against, but still, it kind of says a lot. It says a lot. I was happy about it. I was like, okay, cool, man. This is good. We don't have any more doubt, because all the LeBron stuff, it's just full with doubt and uncertainty. And with Luka, it just seems like, he's bought in. But I did hear that also that if he doesn't sign on August 2nd, don't freak out because
Yeah.
he is in Slovenia with a national team or whatever, and they're going to go out there, and that's probably where they'll get it done. And so expect it a couple days after that or something like that. That's getting floated out there, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure. And this was something I was pushing for as well. I thought maybe they would have to get it done through a trade because I wasn't sure how much dead money Washington wanted on their cap coming into this year, because it's not just Smart, Middleton, Brogdon, McCollum. There's a lot of guys that are
Retirement home.
Yeah. It really is. It's becoming a retirement home. But not only that, though, like you still have to pay these guys or take back money. So you're kind of stuck between, as Sean Connery would say from The Rock, you're stuck between a rock and the hard place. Yes. How's your bowling arm? Okay. Enough Connery. But given the fact that Smart is the recent signing, they've also gotten Jake LaRavia. They have signed DeAndre Ayton to another similar contract. They brought back Jackson Hayes. Do you believe that the Lakers have fully addressed the needs of this offseason? Why or why not, Ryan?
No. But I think they just did what they could do. I think is the difference, right? Defense was, I would say, was the biggest problem. Everybody's just because they needed a center, and Hayes wasn't the guy, and yada yada yada. But honestly, I think overall, defense was the problem, right?
Yeah.
It was a glaring problem. The only thing that kind of covered that up was they were so good offensively. They had guys that could drop 30 on any given night, with LeBron, Reeves, Luka, it's so that kind of covered up some of their flaws. And then they get into the postseason and it's like, okay, 5 games, they win one postseason game against a team that they're favored against. That's pretty glaring problem. And I think, getting Ayton is a plus. It's an upgrade. It's a good move. It's a smart move. But you notice all these moves that they're making are situational, right? They're just kind of
short term. Yeah.
Oh, Aiden's available. Let's get him, right?
Yeah.
Like we didn't think he was going to be available. He's available. Oh, Smart's available. Let's get him. Didn't think he was going to be available. Let's get him. They improved in two areas where they probably were lost in that aspect in terms of being able to upgrade it from Jackson. They even brought Jackson Hayes back, which we all thought wasn't going to happen, right? It was
neither did Vegas.
They were out on somebody like Horford. I always mention to Chris, like, we don't get to see the full board that Rob does, right? So I kind of like to think that had these buyouts not happened, he had a contingency plan to sign.
Right?
We don't know, and honestly, I don't really care because of what the results are. But I will say he kept his ear to the streets enough to know who might get bought out, in my opinion.
Right.
And for the Lakers to be front runners before they even clear waivers tells me that a little bit more. I want to ask you a little bit about LeBron because I want to say,
do you have to?
I have to.
Do you have to, Chaez?
Only from the perspective of, I was thinking about it for a while, and I just have to bring it up. Do we think that his lack of support,
caring right now,
public support for the team, is due to the fact that he didn't get a 1+1 extension and it wasn't offered, even though he knows that he probably deserves it, being an all NBA player still at 40 years old?
I think LeBron's in a place that he's never been before, right? Where a team is willing to move on and be like, okay, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for the 2020 championship. But we already got this guy who we can invest in for 10 years. And it kind of was kind of wake up moment. Like, hey, look, this really is your last stretch. Whether it's 1 year or whatever the hell you want to do after this year, we don't really care, right? Like, we'll give you this 1 year, but it's because we don't have a choice, right? Like go ahead, opt in. You still got your no trade clause. You're the only guy in the league that still has that. I think Dame got that in his new contract.
Now he's the second guy after Bradley got bought out.
Right.
That's over.
Which I thought was kind of crazy, right?
That was odd, yeah.
2 guys with no trade clauses are like over 35. It's crazy. that might be a dying thing that just doesn't happen anymore after
Yeah,
those
I don't think we're going
two
to see no
guys.
trade clauses too much moving
Yeah, I don't
forward.
think so
And
either.
certainly not for guys who are over the hill, at 35 years old. I mean, why Washington gave that to Beal in the first place, I do not know. I mean, that would,
Desperation.
I mean, really, but for no
Because
reason. But yeah,
there's a thing that people, I don't think they can't, push back and be like, okay, look, or step back. Sorry, not push back. And look at it from the perspective of, we're not LA, we're not New York, we're not Chicago, we're not place, Miami or whatever, that places that people want to go to. So you kind of have to bend over backwards for players that are good, right? So you do things that you wouldn't normally do in LA or in a big market. So I think those, that's just the cost of doing business in a small market, right? Like where you're lucky, where you're like an OKC, where you just you got the right GM who just makes all the right moves, right? And he sets you up for success for a long time with a ton of assets, gets the right guys. But that's where you do it the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you don't see that in Charlotte. You don't see that in, I mean, Minnesota's a one-off, right? They've done pretty well.
You don't see it in Portland either like that.
You don't see it in Portland. Yeah. Like even when they get guys, they can't keep them necessarily, right? They McCollum, Dame, like that, they didn't really go anywhere, and then they couldn't keep them. Like it's just that's the difference with the NBA. That's the difference in professional sports. Like I don't know if you guys are into soccer, but like I mean I'm British, so like I was born into that, and it's all about Real Madrid and Barcelona and Manchester United.
Hey, I'm Italian, man. Juventus, AC Milan,
Serie A, right? Yeah, like but that's all those guys want to go there, right? They want to go to all those big clubs, right? That's
the big markets. The legacy aspect of it. No, I couldn't agree with you more. And you brought up Sam Presti. I mean, that is the one-off for a small market, because that's the only way to do it. You have to draft well, you have to manage your assets well, and then you have to make savvy trades and to try to keep yourself competitive. Not an easy thing to do. Ryan, I had a question for you going back to the Lakers. So you said they didn't I'm paraphrasing, but you basically said they've addressed a lot of their needs, but not all of them. Josh Okogie was a guy that I thought you can get off the scrap heap. He's now in Houston. Houston is signing everyone that they think could help beat them. So exactly. They're going on the offensive. Other moves could the Lakers make? Now they have Dalton Connect. They have the 2030, I believe the 2030 first round pick. Connect may not be very happy, may never have gotten over on the trade that was taken back.
I think they can trade 31 or 32, but they can't trade both, right?
I'm sorry, I thought it was 30. So 31 or 32. Drew Holiday's name has been floated out there. That's a massive contract.
That's the one. I think that's the only move, unless somebody pops up out of nowhere, which happens all the time.
Well, Ryan, let me finish the question. What moves would you like to see the Lakers make?
That one.
Go ahead.
Do that one. Get Drew Holiday. I know it's a short-term fix, but if you look at all the moves that they've made, they're all short-term fixes, right? There's no long-term things like Ayton. What is he? 1-1, right?
Smart 1-1.
1-1. Yeah.
LaRavia, I think, is too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, these are not long-term moves. They're just for 1 year, basically, right? And then they make a decision whether that worked, and they kind of blow it up if it didn't, and if it did, hey, look, let's commit, here and wherever. But I have always loved Drew Holiday, and I always wondered that guy has to have like a Kobe jersey, or he's got something like Chaez in the back with that Kobe. That is awesome. I love that. Yeah,
appreciate it.
I got one back here with Kobe and Jordan going up.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That looks like circa 97 or 98. Yeah, that's really cool, Ryan.
Yeah, Tyson Beck. I don't know if you ever heard of Tyson Beck. He put this one together. There's one up here too. That's
yeah, he does good work.
Yeah, he's so talented.
Really quick to let you know on Drew Holiday. He's 33 this year, million cap hit. 35.
It's a lot of money.
35 next year, and then a player option for the dreaded 27-28 season that the Lakers reportedly are trying to keep open at 37 and a half. So while it would cost you probably somebody like Rui or
Connect.
Rui and Gabe and Dalton, and then maybe something like that. I'd like the move, but I reportedly like the KCP move. I know Dante DiVincenzo got shot down by
Ooh,
Minnesota,
I would have
but if
loved
it,
DiVincenzo.
Definitely.
I thought that guy was like a born Laker. He's got that grit. I think he'd do great in a big city, right? Like I mean, he did fine in New York. He had his best years in New York, right? So,
Hey,
like,
Ryan, you imagine replacing a guy like
Yeah.
Dave Vincent, who's had a disappointing 2 years with the Lakers, with a guy like DiVincenzo. Now you're talking about a good bench there.
yeah, that'd be incredible. The shooting too. I
Mhm.
mean, it's just that guy is. I understand why Minnesota turned them down right away. It makes perfect sense, right? You don't want to give up a guy like that. You can't see. He's one of those guys you cannot get all the time, right? Like it's like a Caruso. You can't get those guys all the time.
man,
With these natural motors and grit and just intangibles. I mean, the guy OKC valued him for a reason, and you saw it right throughout the entire playoffs. Imagine if he was still on the Lakers. Like, I bet they're kicking themselves for not trying to get that guy on a long-term deal or even a shorter-term deal. He went to Chicago just because he wasn't getting what he wanted in LA, and I don't blame him.
but you should have been able to afford if you didn't make the moves that you did with Mark Gasol or Montrezl
Well, that-
Harrell, and
Yeah,
that,
I would actually say though the Russell Westbrook trade also
That
factored
one.
into that,
Yeah.
as well as choosing Talen Horton Tucker, who was a free agent in the summer of 21.
Good
That's
old
That
clutch.
also too, yeah,
Good
that
old
was
clutch.
that was really the problem right there because Caruso wanted to come back and he wasn't even really being super greedy about it. I think
No.
it was just the fact that the Lakers were obviously lowballing him because they were trying to keep Talen Horton Tucker, who they believed was going to be a franchise cornerstone or at least a building block. And boy, were they wrong on that one. You want to talk about
Look
one
at
of the
him
big
now.
blunders
Yeah.
of Rob's career. Yeah, this dude, well, I don't know what's gone worse, his hairline or his game, but both have disintegrated quite quickly.
Yeah, that one. The Westbrook one was number one. I mean, that was
Yeah.
just made no sense. No sense. I mean, I said time and time again after they got him, was like, there's a reason he's on a different team every single year.
Oh, so you weren't for it,
Hell no. I was
Chris?
I was
I believe
pissed.
me and you. I believe me and you did cartwheels
I was
on the
so
night
mad.
that he.
I
got
thought-
traded.
It made no
Yeah.
sense.
Well, but
Basketball-wise,
Ryan,
no sense.
it was a big
It was a
name
star
at the
power
time.
move.
It
Yeah,
was
that's
a
it.
star power move. I think a lot of people thought, okay, given the injuries that AD and LeBron have had going back to the 21 season, they need another star who could captain the ship while those guys could potentially see extended time on the bench. And I think between that mindset and the fact that Brooklyn had the success they did with Kyrie, Harden, and Durant in Brooklyn, I mean, they almost made it to the Eastern Conference Finals that year had it not been for the injuries to Kyrie and Harden and Durant's toe, being, a half size too big. Yeah, on the line.
Yeah.
I think between those two mindsets, they thought, you know what, if it worked in Brooklyn, it could work here. But the thing is, the talents have to mesh. And I think that's where Rob got it wrong. And it just set them up for really an issue over the next couple of years.
But you know what Westbrook proved was the fact that he couldn't not be a number one guy, right? He was number two next to Durant, yeah, because they were young and up and coming, and that just seemed to work. That duo just worked, right? But once Durant was gone, Westbrook went to number one, and he was there for a few years, and that worked to an extent of just kind of
One MVP.
He did, but I mean, is that not one of the most controversial MVPs of all time now? Like people look back at it and be like, I don't know about that one, man. Like
average a triple double. I would say, Chaez, back me up on this.
Yeah,
I would almost call it the
Jokic last season, right? Jokic averages.
Yeah,
just about,
triple
and he
double.
won MVP, right?
No, this past season with Shea.
No, I thought you were talking about last season.
Shea.
He averaged a triple double.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't Jokic average a triple double?
And he won the MVP as a result. He almost did this season, but Shea just was. They won so many games, and he was clearly. I mean, I don't want to say clearly the best player, but I thought he just had a lot of
he had a
steam
great
out
case.
front more
He had a
than
great
Jokic, and Jokic came on late.
Well, and I
But
think there's voter fatigue type thing too, right? It's like when
of course,
Karl Malone got it over Jordan, and it's like, dude, you look at it in retrospect, like, come on, it's Michael Jordan. You gave
yeah,
it to Karl Malone, and it just motivated Jordan to kick his ass in the finals.
and he sure as hell did.
Yeah.
I want to
What-
ask you about this, Ryan.
Huh.
And we'll get you out of here on this one. What do you think of the state of the NBA as a whole, as it stacks up with teams making their moves? Who are the real contenders, and do you like how the CBA is affecting how moves are being made now? Given free agency was probably the slowest it's ever been, as far as guys signing in probably a decade.
It's pretty boring in comparison to what it used to be, huh? A couple of
Yeah,
years ago.
especially 2019. We're all on
Yeah.
Kawhi watch
I'm
and
I'm
PG getting traded.
I'm so glad they put it to the afternoon though, because we used to lose a ton of sleep.
Oh,
Oh God, it
yes.
sucked, man. We're all just
Yeah.
waiting at like 12:01, and then
Yes.
we refresh. Just oh God, I used to hate that.
The Yahoo days. That
Yeah, I used to keep us captive in our rooms. You know what I mean? Especially when that's your job. It sucks.
Yeah.
But I like that
yeah.
part of it. But I will say, like, I give NBA credit for keeping teams and GMs on their toes all the time, like keeping it interesting. Like they always, throw in another, another thing in there to where they have to figure it out. It's not easy to just do their job anymore, right?
Yeah.
Every year there's some new little wrinkle that they got to figure out, and only the best guys do it. That's why, like, I praise Presti, because that dude he's a wizard, man. I'm sure we're gonna figure out he's an alien in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I saw that coming.
Affording all those picks.
Yeah, like he's just a genius that way. And Masai Ujiri was another guy who was really good at his job, who's free agent now, which I think is interesting that we didn't touch on. Ujiri and Bob Myers just sitting there without jobs. And
How?
Pelinka must be like, I gotta do something.
Well, but Ryan, can I bring that up real quick? Because I want to ask you on this. I actually called in 10 on one of the call-in parts that they have, and I brought this up on the day that he became a free agent Messiah. And I said, what if you did this? Mark Walter's about to come in. What if he made Masai Ujiri like president? And it's similar to what Philadelphia did with Daryl Morey. They didn't necessarily fire Elton Brand. They had Elton Brand now report to somebody like Daryl Morey. And I haven't heard Elton Brand complain. He's still there in Philadelphia. He never resigned. What if they did something like that where it's like you're building a brain trust? Masai here, Rob there, part of the same brain trust. Like, why wouldn't they consider doing something like that?
Because that's a way to create some kind of infighting. You know what I mean? Like what a hit to Rob's ego. If you bring in a guy who you clearly value over him, and all of a sudden, he's reporting to him. Like it's just, you got to think LA too. The Hollywood scene compared to Philly, it's just different, man. I just, no, I don't think that would work. I think you got to make a decision, like a definitive, this is the guy. Okay, sorry, Rob. Thank you for your service. We're going with Masai, or we're going with Bob Myers, right? And do it that way. Because you do it the other way, it's just gonna get. I mean, look at what Magic Johnson and Rob. That didn't work, right?
And they had a relationship.
Yeah. I mean, that's a perfect example
yeah.
right there. It's just some egos don't work with other egos in this business, because it's all about credit, especially in those, their jobs where they're super expendable, right? It's like coaches. I mean, they got more leeway than coaches, I think, but at the same time, it's why muddy the waters if you don't have to, if you can just, yeah. So don't complicate a situation that doesn't need to be complicated,
And Jeannie is still involved.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
I find that weird. I find that strange.
Yeah.
And she's
think
going
that
to be involved for a number of
an
years.
honorary title. I think. I don't think that she's actually going to be in control for 5 years.
Ryan, I compared it to when. Oh, good. Yeah. No, I agree. I almost compare it to when the Dodgers, and this was also something Walter did, when the Dodgers brought in Andrew Friedman, they didn't outright fire Coletti. They kept him on as special advisor to the chairman. So he was still had a seat at the table, but he lost the day-to-day role. So maybe that was part of the severance.
Like
he appeared on the Dodgers pregame and postgame show. Exactly. But they did it classy. And it's like, Ned, you've done a lot for us. You've helped lay a foundation. Yeah.
It's a smart move on their part. I mean, think about how hard this must have been, even though the money's incredible, right? Like, but think about how hard it must have been.
Yeah.
She inherited this thing from her father. She obviously is very passionate about it. I've met her in person. She is one of the she's the nicest person I've ever met in this business. The nicest person. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard that story where I did meet her. It's a very awkward situation, but it was.
Give it to us since you bring it up. I mean,
okay, so it was Shaq's statue unveiling, right?
I was there that night.
Oh, right.
That was great.
And there was a ton of former players because Shaq is just friends with everybody, right? There was a ton of guys outside, and there was a party atmosphere. And this is like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon before the game.
Yeah.
Right? And
packed outside.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're covering this, and then we got to go to the press entrance, which is this way. And me and my buddy Bob Garcia, who I always sat with when we covered games and stuff, I'm seeing everybody like that people that you want to hang out with are filtering this way on the side. And I'm like, dude, we have so much time to kill. Let's just go over there and see how far we can take this. So we go over to the side, right? And there's this guy sitting at a desk, almost like you go in a hotel and you're gonna say, hey, look, I'm just checking in. It's that kind of deal. So go over there. The guy pays no notice to us, and there's this elevator to the side, just one elevator, and it's wide open. And I'm like, Bob, let's just go over there. Let's just go over there. So we go over there. We get in the elevator. We turn around, and you need a key card to go up. So we're just sitting there, and I'm like, oh, well, damn it, dude. We ain't gonna get up. So let's go out. So as we're walking out of the elevator, who walks in but Jeannie Buss and Phil Jackson and pushes back into the elevator?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, and this is when they just broke up. Nobody had seen them in public together. This is the first time. And I'm like, and I'm just frozen. And I'm pretty good in these situations. On the fly, I can figure it out, right? Bob is frozen, can't say a damn word. He's just like, we're going to lose our credential right here. This is it. This is it. We're not in a place we're supposed to be. So Jeannie comes in. She turns around. Phil gives me the worst stink eye I've ever had in my life. And he's huge, right? So he's looking down at me like this. And I'm just like, oh, no. Like, we're totally going to get reamed right now. Jeannie swipes her card. Doors close. And she looks over at both me and Bob. And she goes, hey, guys, how you doing? You guys coming up to the party? Like, that was a great ceremony. Like, she didn't have to say anything. And she was so nice, so inviting. She basically invited us to this party, doesn't know us, right? Phil's looking at my credential the whole time, knowing he's like, this guy's media. And I'm not going to tell Jeannie that he's media, right?
Oh, damn. And then you guys...
We just chit-chatted the whole way up, and we get to the top. And she's like, oh, come on in, guys. And then so we're walking towards it, and I look at Bob. I was like, dude, we can't go in there, bro. We can't. For one, there's champagne. I'm going to get hammered. I'm not going to be able to cover the game.
That's awesome.
There's just everybody's drinking, right? There's these Hall of Famers walking in, like Elgin Baylor, Gary Payton. I mean, everybody that was downstairs was coming in this way, right?
And I believe Kobe presented him, right? Kobe was one of the main speakers. If
he
I
was
remember
up there, yeah. He sat
2017, 2018, I think, yeah.
Phil and Shaq, like when they were talking, doing their little speech thing. But
that's right.
Yeah, and then there's this whole wall of mini Shaq figurines, right, that they were giving out to people. And I look at Bob, and Bob's got his backpack. I'm like, bro, stuff 2 of those in there, and let's get the fuck out of here. Pardon my French.
And I have one of those. I have one of those around here still somewhere.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
that's an amazing story. Right.
It was like the giveaway of the night, man. Yeah, that statue is. I contend that outside of the Kobe one, obviously, that statue to me was like the coolest one.
Right.
Just hanging off the side of the.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Pretty
It's
clever.
great.
Pretty clever. But yeah,
Wow.
that was the experience I had. And like I said, she was super nice. Phil didn't want anything to do with this. He's just looking at me like, "You're not supposed to be here, kid." Like I thought he was gonna totally say something. He didn't say anything. He's just like, I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm going up to get hammered anyway, probably.
That's that's the second time I've
Yeah, of
actually
course. I
heard
mean,
about
yeah.
Phil giving steak eye too.
Yeah. But she was so nice. So nice. So whenever like I
Yeah.
say something critical about her, I'm like, oh man, I can't go full on it. But I do think that it is kind of like
You
an
have to
honorary
you have to do the
role.
compliment. Yeah.
Oh, say that again.
No, continue. Sorry. Yeah. No, I was just
No,
gonna
I said
say it's a compliment sandwich. Yeah.
yes. Yeah. It's just basically, hey, look, you had the franchise for this long. We're gonna just treat you respectfully and you know, usher you out in 5 years. I don't know if Rob will get the same treatment though, especially with two superstars at that position, like just sitting there, like, just waiting for an opportunity. So I don't know. I think that's going to get interesting, especially with Luka, right? They're going to want to make sure that starts off on the right foot.
You don't
Right?
think he's done good enough to keep his job?
I think he's been kind of a yes man for Clutch Sports for a long time, and now he's got to kind of figure things out without Clutch, and I think that's way more difficult than he thought it was going to be. Because
Okay.
that's just my take. I don't know if that's the case, but
Yeah.
there's some fingerprints.
And like
all over
anything
this,
else,
right? Like
for sure. But this is also when you have a new owner coming in, I'm not saying they're going to clean house right away. They're going to look, they're going to look at everything. They're going to give you some runway for a few years. Just like when a new executive comes in, they're not going to fire the head coach right away. They'll give them a couple of years and then realize, you know what? It's time to move on. That's just how it is. Unless, of course, that coach or that executive is successful or very established. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if Mickey Arison sold the Miami Heat tomorrow, he's probably not going to fire Pat Riley. New owner is not going to fire Pat Riley anytime soon. Why? Because Riley has got a ton of credibility built in. Basketball legend. That's just how it works. But if you're just a run-of-the-mill guy, which unfortunately Rob is, he's a champion, but he does not have a ton of credibility built in. You know what I mean? He doesn't have decades and decades of winning. That's what I'm talking about. At least not at the level of Pat Riley. Not a fair comparison, but that's what I'm saying. So I think Walter's taking over. He's going to ease the transition, not do anything hasty, watch what they do from a side, and then figure out what needs to be done in order to get this team back onto a consistent channel.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You know what I think it is? It's just going to be an evaluation process, just like any company that buys another one. They're going to evaluate how this company works and what's good about it, what's not, what needs to change. And I think that's why he's under the gun in a sense, right? Because every move that he makes is going to be, it's going to be looked at by a lot of eyes, a lot of rich eyes, you know what I mean, who have already been super successful with the Dodgers. So like, that's why I think that he's probably nervous as hell, and he should be, which is kind of crazy to say, considering he pulled off the trade of the maybe the most crazy trade in NBA history.
Century.
Right?
Yeah. You could say it. Century.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the leg up that he has, though, is the relationship that he has with not only Luka Doncic but his representatives. And what's the lady's name? Laura Beth.
I don't
oh
know.
yeah,
and
Lucas. You're talking about Lucas' manager, Chaez?
Yeah, his right hand for everything business wise. Like
she's that blonde woman.
Yeah,
right?
I think her name is Laura Beth. And
I think the manager. She's not the agent. She's the manager. Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
Bill Duffy's the agent, but she is pretty much the liaison, his consigliere, if you will. So the fact that Rob has relationships with them already and is signing guys like Ayton and Smart, and although rescinded, did a trade for Mark Williams, keeping that already good so far is the leg up I think he already has. And as long as he does that and keeps the franchise in a competitive role and doesn't take Clutch for the major moves that he's going to do, like Jalen Hood-Schifino, like Taylor Horton-Tucker, that's going to cost you a Caruso or a KCP, guys that you're trying to trade to get back reportedly now, like he'll be in a good spot. But like you said, it remains to be seen, and it's an evaluation period, so we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, I think we'll know in probably about a year, maybe after the next season would probably be a good idea of where they're going to go in that direction.
Yeah, well, Ryan, you've been so gracious with your time. We really appreciate you coming on, especially doing back to back shows as well. I want to get you out really last one on this one. What do you make of the Lakers and their roster and how they will finish the season ultimately as constructed? And do you think this is LeBron's last year?
Well, I definitely think this is LeBron's last year. I think it was LeBron's
Not
last
as a
year.
Laker, in the NBA in general?
Yeah. Yeah. I think he set it up this way. There's a lot of things you could look at, like the 23rd season, 23 is his number. The All-Star game has been played in Los Angeles. It's going to be all about him for a year straight. And we all know that's what LeBron likes, right? He likes that attention. I just feel like it's all lined up that way. And it's probably been that way for a while. It's like when he came to LA, everybody knew 6 months before that he was coming to LA. It was like just a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
I get the same sense with this, right? It's just everybody knows. It's just more of like how he wants to finish it. And it probably wouldn't be a great look if like he pushed himself out and went to some other team that he has no like real attachment to outside of Cleveland, right? Obviously, for his last season. So I think it's gotten complicated. Like he's lost control in terms of what he can do now, but he's kind of settled with it. I mean, it's not a bad gig, right? Like 53 million for his final season, and he's going to get glorified in LA for the entire year. Every single game that they play, it's going to be about LeBron. It's going to be saying goodbye to the crowd. Just the same way with Kobe, same thing. But yeah, it's what was your other question outside of LeBron?
Forget that other question. Does he announce it before
Yeah,
the season starts?
he'll want to, because that it sets everything up, right? Every team is going to prepare after that, right? It's not like, well, Kobe did it like mid-season from what I remember.
I think it was November. It was after. It was. We were maybe a few weeks into the season, I believe it was.
Right.
I agree. I think that's what I remember. It wasn't at the beginning.
I got pissed. I got pissed because I was late to the game, and they left these letters or whatever on every media seat, and I got there late, and somebody took mine, and I was like, God damn it!
Oh man!
Of course, because they were terrible that year. They only won like in the teens.
It was like his retirement letter.
17 games.
It was basically him saying he was walking away.
Yeah.
It was, and it was like a memorabilia kind of thing. You know what I mean? That only a handful of people got. So I was pretty pissed off.
Yeah, he was like in a suit before like entering the game and doing his pregame media. And it was like, man, just weird.
Yeah. But I think LeBron is definitely going to maximize every bit of it, exposure, attention, whatever you want to call it. So he's going to, I bet it'll be media day makes the most sense, but maybe it's before that. Maybe he holds a press conference before that, which also, that's pretty on brand for him too, though. So it's nobody else is like taking his shine.
Just pretty on brand.
Him. Yeah. So I bet what, September probably?
End of September, September 28th to be exact.
Or like early October. Yeah. That's what would be
that'll be media day. Yeah.
Well, good stuff, Ryan. Well, we appreciate you coming on and dropping great knowledge with us. Thank you. If there's anything you want to plug, go right ahead.
Just say follow me on damn near every social media platform with it at Ryan Ward LA. Trying to tap into the YouTube thing. So we got that get churning. So you can get me on there at Ryan Ward LA. So it's every TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, anywhere you go, really, that's where I'm at.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
No, Ryan,
go ahead, Chris.
it's yeah. Appreciate you coming. No, I was just gonna say, appreciate you coming on, man. It's good to see you again, and keep up the great work and everything that you're doing, and we'll definitely look forward to having you on again soon.
For sure. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Later.
See you.
Great
Stuff,
Ryan
Chris.
Ward.
Absolutely, man. That's
Yes,
how you
sir.
that's how you go about it, man. And we had some other topics that we were going to get into, but look, man, after that, great knowledge and great conversation, really, more than anything. Uh, Chris, let's talk a little bit of baseball real quick. Before we get on out of here. What do you
Okay. I
make
thought we
of
were okay.
No, I know you think that we were gonna just close it out, but I gotta ask you just real quick. Because I know you wanted to
Go
kill
ahead,
it.
brother.
What do
Yeah.
you make of the fact that the Dodgers have lost before today, 11 of 14? They get a walk-off win
Mm,
with the bases loaded from Freddie Freeman, professional hitter, by the way, and who also has
yes.
been scuffling. What do you
Yep.
make of that? And also Otani's epic month of 8 home runs and 10 strikeouts in the month of July.
Yeah, a much needed win, a much needed series win today. This team has not been in a good place really all month. It obviously started with that series against Houston on the 4th of July, and it's been sort of a downward spiral ever since. They just have not been able to put together any sort of momentum. They get swept 3 times this month. I'm going to repeat that. Swept 3 times this month, 2 of them at Dodger Stadium. One against Houston and one last weekend against the Milwaukee Brewers. Inexcusable. That cannot happen. Yes, the injuries have been a problem. Max Muncy going down was huge. I think we underestimated that. The starting rotation has not been bad, but it's been inconsistent at times. You're trying to build up Otani, but the real issue of late has been 2 things. An inconsistent bullpen that really has no reliable arms right now. No reliable arms. You lose Tanner Scott. You lose Ben Kasparius. Both of them were struggling as it is anyway. Kirby Yates has been next to useless, which I could say about all 5 signings of the offseason. Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, Michael Conforto, Kirby Yates, and Tanner Scott, next to useless. $300 million committed to those 5 players. Useless. They have been a wet blanket on the Dodgers. And Kirby Yates today got bailed out. He deserved to lose that game. Walked the bases loaded 2 days in a row. We have seen 3 different pitchers walk the bases loaded. Inexcusable. And had it not been for a great James Outman catch on Monday night, he really would have been sorry. A 3-run home run that would have tied the game off the bat of Carlos Correa, robbed at the wall by a great catch from James Outman. So Yates has been useless. This injury was going downhill. Ben Kasparius has not been the same over the last month. But all that, you take 2 out of 3 from the Twins, you got to take it and move on. Now you have a little bit of momentum, a much-needed day off tomorrow, and you head to Boston and I believe Cincinnati, or Cincinnati then Boston. I know that's coming up on the East Coast. Mookie Betts. Love Mookie. Been a big part of this team for the last 5 years. 2 World Series championships. Outstanding. He's done a solid job this year at shortstop. I give him credit. Dude, you my ups right now. I hate to say that. I hate to do Mookie like that, but that's where you're at, bro. And if this Dodger team is going to go anywhere this year with as much depth and talent and everything like that, and a $2 billion payroll, or at least that's how it feels, they're not going to go anywhere unless Mookie Betts gets it together. I still contend he should move out of shortstop, even though he's been better defensively there. Go back into right field, move Teoscar out of right because he's been a disaster there defensively. Put him in left, show Conforto the 405, and just leave him there. Andy Pages in center, and get another infielder. That's me. Tommy in at short, Muncy at third, maybe Hy-Sung. You go out and go grab Luis Garcia, Freeman, and Will Smith. That's what I think they should do. But right now, over the next week, the key, go out and get a reliever or two. Go out and get Cade Smith from Cleveland, Griffin Jacks, although today was a bad showing for him. Same with Duran. Get somebody who can help this team because these fools ain't it. They're robbing the Dodgers blind right now. That's me.
Robbing them blind.
And by the way, shout out to Tyler Glasnow. He was outstanding today. And his 3-4 starts since he's gotten off the IL has been great. And more importantly, he's not cramping and he's not dehydrated. So I guess that's a good thing as well. Did I miss anything, brother?
No, spitting that hot fire. And with that said, I'm just going to leave it there. I will say, these Dodgers championship rings, hold on a second.
Oh, he's flashing it. And by the way, shout out to Shohei Ohtani. Outstanding. Hitting a home run in 3 innings of 1-run ball. Amazing. Good. Ooh, yeah. That's nice. That is nice right there. Yeah. That's good. The best part about going to these games, man, is the giveaways. Yeah.
So I just got to say, on that note, got one of these. We'll worry about it when it comes time for October. If their roster can make it to October, fully intact and fully healthy. Thanks to Ryan Ward for coming on to the Outlet Forum tonight. Thank you to Chris for always being so ready and coming with it with the absolute fire every single time we talking, whether it be Dodgers, Lakers, NBA, MLB. And props to your boy for coming through and putting on a great show. For everybody that's listening for the first time, follow the Outlet Forum. You guys know where to follow us. At the Outlet Forum on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can follow me at Chaez Pearson on every platform. And Chris, where can they follow you, my man?
Could always follow me on Twitter /X at Chris_Camelo, CCamelo1 on Instagram. Be sure to follow us on the Outlet Forum on X, IG, and YouTube. And if you missed the show live, no problem. You can go back and watch it later. And Chaz, just a quick shout out. There were 2 significant deaths this week. A tragic one involving 54-year-old actor Malcolm Jamal Warner. Outstanding actor, did a tremendous job through many TV shows. Most of them remember him from The Cosby Show or The Resident or A Different World or a guest spot on Fresh Prince. He was fantastic. R.I.P. to him. That was tragic. And then, of course, Ozzy Osbourne, man, the Prince of Darkness, Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, Iron Man, the voice of Black Sabbath and a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and a legend who was a heavy metal icon. I just wanted to say RIP to both of them. They definitely left their mark on pop culture. So I just wanted to end it on that note.
No doubt. Malcolm Jamal Warner swimming in the beach with his 8-year-old daughter. And luckily some surfers saved his daughter. And he unfortunately, they got him, but by the time they did, he had succumbed to his asphyxiation. So prayers up to him, prayers up to the family, prayers up to Ozzy's family. And we thank you guys for joining the Outlet Forum. We're coming back next week with even more fire. We're talking everything that's happening in the NBA and baseball. And we'll talk some NFL football next week with NFL training camps coming up. Chris, I'll be at Rams training camp on Saturday. I can't absolutely wait for that. I'll tell you how Devontae Adams looks in a Rams jersey and if Kyron Williams is going to finally get his deal since he's holding in this year in Rams camp. Again, thank you guys for tapping in. We'll see you guys next week. Till the next time. Peace.